Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Dianna in the kitchen, and on today's episode I'll be making some fried chicken. So this video has been requested for a couple weeks now, but I had to get some other requested videos out of the way. So to all my subscribers that requested fried chicken, today is your day. All right, so to get things started, the first thing we're going to do is to season our chicken. And I have 3 pounds of chicken right here, mostly dark meat because I'm not really a white meat kind of girl. So we're going to be seasoning this up first. But before I do any of that, we're going to be doing a quick breakdown of all the ingredients. So as I said before, we have 3 pounds of chicken right here. In this, I have some Cajun seasoning and some celery powder. I have some black pepper right here, some adobo seasoning, and some Lawry seasoned salt right here. And in this, I have some Maggi all-purpose seasoning and some Cayenne Pepper. I have some paprika right here, and I also have some cornstarch. In this, I have 2 beaten eggs, and over here, I have some flour that I'll be using for my breading. And I just have some black pepper, some cayenne pepper, some paprika, some Maggi all-purpose seasoning, as well as some salt to season. And to this, I'll be adding the cornstarch that I mentioned before. So before I do anything else, I'll be seasoning the chicken. Okay guys, so for the seasoning portion of the chicken, I like to do this in my sink. And what I did was just to combine all my spices. So I'm just going to give this one final mix, and we're just going to put this over our chicken. Alright, so this is just a dry spice rub, and we're getting in, or we're going in with our hands just to ensure that everything is combined. You don't need to pat dry your chicken for this method that I'll be using. So you can go ahead and get some under the skin. Get some in between that breast meat. Alright, and just give this a nice massage. Alright, so just continue massaging the seasoning into the chicken until everything is coated. This chicken was washed, cleaned, washed, and then soaked in some vinegar just to get off that extra raw edge from the chicken. Alright, so we're going to allow this to just marinate for about 15 minutes before we begin to fry. However, if you need a deeper penetration of the seasoning, what you can do is just to cover this with some saran wrap and let it go for about 24 hours or overnight, and then you can go ahead and do it the next day. But just for the interest of time, and in order to do this video, I'm just going to be doing everything right now. So I'm going to let this marinate for 15 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright guys, to make our breading, all we're going to do is just to add the corn flour to our flour mixture, and we're just going to mix in everything until well combined. You want to season your flour because you don't want bland flour. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to season your chicken and give it a nice season, and then you're going to have bland flour to dredge it in. Makes absolutely no sense. So ensure that your flour is seasoned and properly seasoned. Alright guys, so when making chicken at home but you want that restaurant KFC kind of look, you're going to need a few tools just to make your life easier. So the first thing you need is a metal strainer, and you need this to remove any bits and pieces of the crust or the breading that comes off of the chicken during the cooking process. Alright, so The other thing you need is a wooden spoon. If you don't have a wooden spoon, you can use bamboo skewers or wooden skewers. And this is essential when you don't have a thermometer. You can use this to test the temperature of the oil to know when the oil is ready for frying. And of course, you're going to be needing a long enough metal fork. So the next step is to work on our dredging or our breading process of the chicken. All right, so listen, don't be shy about this, but if you're shy, you can go ahead and use your gloves. But Dianna in the kitchen will not be a part of the gloves debate, especially when I am cooking for my family. When I'm cooking for strangers, fine, but when I'm cooking for my family, these hands are going to be used. My hands are always clean. So to begin, we're just going to add our beaten eggs, as well as about 3 or 4 tablespoons of our seasoned flour. All right, and we're just going to go in with our hands until everything is properly coated, until everything is mixed in together. If you are allergic to eggs, even though I find that to be pretty funny, allergic to eggs but not allergic to chicken, it's kind of weird, but I know it does happen. So if you're allergic to eggs, I'll be doing another video where I'll be showing you a method where you don't have to use the eggs and you can still get an amazing crust on your chicken. Alright, so just continue working this in until everything is combined. Get any bits of raw flour off the chicken and just continue using your hands to work this in. And this is what is going to give you a really nice crust. All right. All right, so now I'm just going to get my hands cleaned. All right, guys, so for this next step, I'll be using a fork. And I'll be taking the chicken piece by piece, and we're just going to add it to our flour. And all we're going to do is just scoop up some like this, and we're going to press down. All right, so just press down. I'm also going to take some of this flour and just put it on to the tray that I'll be using. So just press down, and then we lift, ensure that it is coated on both sides. All right, so this is what we're looking for, and we're just going to transfer it over to our tray like that. So we're going to repeat the same process for all the other pieces. So this is our leg. Ensure that the skin is over the chicken and not scrunched up, and we're just going to press. You can do this in something that is more flat, so you can do more than one piece at a time. All right, and you see those flakes right here? That is what's going to be giving you that crunchiness on the outside of your skin. So we're going to continue doing the same thing until all the pieces are used up. ensure that you are shaking off the excess flour at all times. So all those little pieces that you see right there, they're going to make an awesome crunch on your chicken. Alright guys, so I'll be using a Dutch pot for today's episode. And listen, I love my Dutch pot them. Alright, so I have in this 1 liter of oil. You'll be using less or more depending on the size of your pot. The amount of oil in this may not cover the chicken in its entirety, but that is exactly how I want it. If you want a deep fry, you can always go ahead and add more oil, but ensure that whichever pot you're using, it has a cover. So there are a few indicators that you can use to tell if your oil is ready for frying, and one such indicator is those ripples that you see in the pot. I hope you guys can see. Let me zoom up a bit. Alright, so those ripples are indicators that the oil has begun to heat up. But to get a more accurate reading, you may use a thermometer. But if you don't have a thermometer, then you can go ahead and use a wooden spoon. Alright, just ensure that your wooden spoon is absolutely clean. And what we're going to do is just to put it inside the oil like this. Once you see it bubbling, or the oil bubbling along the side of the wooden spoon like this, it tells you that your oil is ready. If it's bubbling ferociously, then you know that your oil is too hot. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead right now and begin frying our chicken because this oil is ready. So when frying chicken, guys, I like to start off with my dark meat. So I typically start off with my thighs and my legs. So we have 1 thigh going in. Ensure that you place the chicken in the pot away from you. All right? Do not overcrowd the pot. So that's 2 thighs going in. This has a little bit more flour than I want, so I'm going to dust off that excess. And I have 2 drums going in. And we're putting this skin side down. So don't disturb the chicken for another minute. Just let it go just like that. Alright? And if you see where you have space to add another drumstick, you can go ahead and do so. Alright, so that is perfect. So this is currently 5 pieces of chicken. So let it go for a minute undisturbed. Alright guys, so the temperature of your oil will always drop once you place the chicken in the oil. So as soon as you allow it to go for a minute, and when you see that bubbling, that ferocious bubbling resumes, then you know that your oil is back up to temperature. So what we're going to do is to get our lid, and we're going to cover the pot, and we're going to let this go for another 6.5 to 7 minutes before we uncover and give our chicken a flip. So I'll see you guys in another 6 to 7 minutes. Alright guys, so it has been 7 minutes and we're going to flip our chicken over. Nice, you see that crust? Alright, so once you get everything flipped over, what we're going to do is just to give these another 6 minutes and then they're ready. Guys, so for this last 6 minutes of frying, what we're going to do is just to leave the pot uncovered. For the previous 6 minutes, we left the pot covered in order for steam to build up while the chicken is frying. That method just allows for a more moist chicken. Alright, so we're going to leave this for an additional 6 to 7 minutes and then we're going to take them out. So I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so there are a few indicators that you can use to tell when your chicken is ready to be removed from the oil. And one such indicator, apart from the time, is to listen. So when you see the oil stop bubbling ferociously, it means the moisture in the chicken has been reduced. Alright, so you can go ahead and remove these right now. As you can see, it's golden brown on both sides. And of course guys, please remember that the cooking time is going to vary depending on the size of your chicken. So if you have smaller pieces, it will simply mean that it will take a shorter time to fry. Alright? So before we put in our last batch, what we're going to do is to use our strainer and remove those pieces from the oil. And to do that, what we're going to do is just to scoop it up like this. You may not get all of it, but try your best to get most. So once the oil is clean, we'll be adding the other batch. And guys, please allow the oil to come back up to temperature. So give it about 30 seconds for it to come back up to temperature before we put the other batch in. So we're just going to discard of this right now. And of course guys, these are looking good. Listen to that crunch. So crunchy on the outside, nice and juicy on the inside. So we'll be going ahead and putting in our final batch right now. So again guys, we be placing them skin side down. And this is going to take about 10 minutes. So 5 minutes on each side, because that's the breast portion. Contains way less bone, so it's a shorter time than the thighs or the dark meat. So we're going to cover this again and let it go for 5 minutes per side. Alright, so guys, I just took my final pieces out. Alright, and of course everything is still crunchy. I'm going to bite into one of these drumsticks right now, just to let you guys see the insides. Alright, this is nice. All right guys, so I'll be just plating up and serving and let you guys see exactly what my meal be looking like. All right, so let's soon come. There you have it guys, this is my final product, or homemade fried chicken, and I'm serving this up with some creamy mashed potatoes with some hoisin sauce and some chili sauce. You can have this straight up with just some ketchup and some fries if you like, but this is how I am having it today. Alright guys, so this is the end of another episode of Dianna in the Kitchen. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course don't be selfish, share it with a friend. Alright, so until next time, this is Dianna in the Kitchen. Thank you so much for watching.